Welcome back to Survive Outdoors. As promised, I'm going to go through my base camp medical kit. Now, I don't carry this. This is fairly heavy with what I have packed in it. This stays in the car most of the time. Now, if I'm with 4 or 5 people on a 4 or 5 day, I'm going to bring this. But I'm giving it to the younger person to stick in his pack. I'm not carrying it. But this is a bug out roll from CanadianPrepper.com. I'm not an affiliate. I get Zip from him, and this is an excellent pack. In fact, 98% of all his gear is good quality stuff. I advise you to check it out. I got the camel one because it was on sale. I think I got it for $130, and normally these are $149. They come in various colors. So if you look, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 snaps. Then you can take this and you can roll this out and hang that up on a tree, and you can see everything that you have going on. You can lay it on the ground if you have an emergency situation. You know where what is and what it is and where it's at, and you can grab it and move through. It's not all cluttered in a bag. So this is just ideal. So we've talked before, and if you didn't see it, I'll put the link at the end of this video on my everyday medical kit, this little kit. And that's what I carry in my backpack every time I'm out. There's a few things in here that are not in the base medical camp because I carry it all the time. I also use the base camp to supply this when I need to. For example, Afrin nasal spray to stop bleeding, that's in this little pack. I don't have that in here. On the other side of the coin, a lot of stuff in the base camp is not in here. You don't need some of that, in my opinion. So it all depends on how long you're going to be gone, where you're going to, the health of people in your party, and you're going to, modulate that. You're going to add, subtract, based on those criteria. So we won't be going through this one, but I will put that at the end. All right, so let's go what we have here. So in this pocket, I have my injectables. I have Lido with Epi. I have some 27 gauge needles. And I don't carry an irrigation syringe, but in the base camp there is one. Why is that? I carry the plastic bag. It holds more water. I can irrigate the wound, but I have this here. This does work better if I want to irrigate an eye. It's a more focal, very precise jet of water. So I would use that more for irrigating an eye than I would a plastic bag. I have some alcohol wipes and some bacitracin ointment. Remember what I said about Neosporin and triple antibiotic? Big no-no. 10% of the population is allergic to neomycin in it, and we do not stock it in our clinic. Over in this pouch, I have some Band-Aids, Silvadene cream for some burns, 1%. This is prescription, just to let you know. If you're allergic to sulfa, you should not be using this. Use bacitracin instead on burns. Have gauze pads, some Adaptic non-stick bandages, and these are, and I'm going to have a more in-depth review of these, but these are just absolutely awesome. They're by Camp Survive, and they are biodegradable, and they are wipes. 2 tablespoons of water is all you would need, and I'm sure some of you are familiar with these. These are wonderful. You got kids, you want to wipe their face, you want to wipe anything, want to clean your hands, just drop one of these in the creek. They're very, very light, and they're very strong. Check that out. Awesome. They're not just for your face, they're for all those areas when you're camping. So excellent product. Strongly advise those. We're going to have a more detailed review of that down the road. And this one, I have Leukotape for blisters, large roll, and I have 2 types of medical tape in here. One's paper tape, easy to get off of those hairy areas, and more is a more durable tape. And in the second pouch, now I have a cat tourniquet. As you can see, it looks brand new. I've carried it with me for a few years. I'm here to tell you I have never ever had a need to use a cat tourniquet in the outdoors, and hope I never do. It is worth carrying. I do not carry it all the time. I definitely don't carry it in my bag. And the reason why that is I know of various ways to stop a major bleed. Yes, these work well. Yes, they're awesome. There's just not a need. And on your weekend trip, yes, I'm going to hear comments down below. Strange things can happen. You know, it's that one incident. You wish you always had it. But again, back in the day, 40 years, I've never had to use one of these. So, yes, it could happen tomorrow. But this is your cat tourniquet. It's an excellent piece of equipment. It's really easy to use. I got fluorescent orange because I've seen a lot of traumas at nighttime, and you want to be able to see this. I also, you can write down the time that you put this on right here, or you can put a piece of tape. Very important. Finger splint. And this bag here, this little pouch, is filled with bandages, gauze, and some 5 ml syringes for the Lido or Lido with Epi if I need that. And over here, I have my instruments, fluoroproline suture material. I use fluoro, and I just carry it all the time. Why? Because 6/0 nylon, the larger the number, the thinner diameter of the suture material, that's great for the face, but it's terrible for a extremity or a larger area. So if I'm in the outdoors and I'm on a hike, I'm going with the strongest. So I'm going with fluoroproline. I'm not really worried about a scar at that point in time. I also have a stapler in here, so there's numerous ways of closure. I have scissors. These are great for cutting pants. I also have tweezers for ticks. This is nice. This is a bovie, and this is really great when you drop that log on your finger. You can just take this and heat this up, and in a matter of seconds, you see how red hot that gets. And you just take that and you run it through your nail. Boom, you express the blood, you have immediate relief. Fantastic little piece of equipment. Now, the one thing I carry every day with me to work is the Leatherman Raptor. This is just, they outdid themselves with this. So it's more for paramedics. You can bust out a window with this end. It has a seatbelt cutter on here, right here, which is nice. It also has an oxygen tank nozzle where you can turn it on and off. But I use the scissors probably 3 times a week. I carry it with me every day. Cut casting material if I have to cut pant legs, and it works fantastic. It's expensive. It is pricey. I think it's about 80 bucks, but it will last a lifetime. So that's the Raptor. Next pouches. Over here, some more syringes. Have an instant ice pack. This Mylar blanket is the closest thing to worthless that you can have. You have to be gentle with these. They can reflect fire to stay warm. They're good in a pinch, but if you just hit a briar bush or a tree, they will rip to shreds. So that's my 2 cents on that. It's another little lightweight. It's definitely stronger. This is an orange tarp for emergency situations. I like this actually to lay it down, and if I lay all my equipment, if I have a trauma, on this, and I take it out of here, and I have everything organized that I can see what I need. So there's no, hey, where's that at? Where's this at? I don't have to search. So it takes this, which is organized, and it makes it even more organized and focal. And one thing I've learned is always zip things back up, because you're going to, in a rush, and you'll have stuff fall out and lose it. The next one I have is the Great Sam Splint, which I have used this many, not this particular one obviously, but I have used many Sam Splits in situations. They are just a wonderful little piece of equipment. And you can use these, when we get into splinting, and I run through that video, you can use these for your neck, for a cervical collar. Works great for that. They have some aluminum there. You can bend these and mold these to however you need. What's also awesome with these is you can take a pair of scissors and you can cut this very easily. And you can make your own finger splint out of it. And it works fantastic. You'll have to come back in, maybe trim off some of these sharp edges, feel if there's no sharp edges there, and take some Medi-Rip, wrap that up, and you have an excellent finger splint. Works fantastic. Now I have an extra finger splint. And then in this pouch also I have some Medi-Rip, 2 different sizes, some soft roll, which is great for casting, or lay this down before I put the splint on. If you don't have a splint or you need more splinting material, you can use bark on a tree. Just make sure all the insects are out of it, because you're going to have a friend of yours really hating you. Triangular bandage, which is overkill. You saw on my dislocated shoulder. You really don't need that. I mean, there's 1,000 ways to make a sling. Number 11 blade. And scalpel is used I use it to either extend a wound or to help get foreign bodies out. So that's nice to have. EpiPen. Definitely want to have an EpiPen with you if you're going on a large excursion. And cotton tip applicators, Q-tips, great for flipping a lid, for gently swiping something off of the eye. A lot of uses for these. I also have in here safety pins, which we talked about when you have a sling, to sling that against your arm against your body. You can use that. This came in some medical kit that I had years ago, and I just stuck it in here. Soft roll, Medi-Rip. This is an Ace Wrap from Henry Schein. Ace Wraps are good for 2 things. Ace Wraps are good for attaching a splint, or they're good for attaching a splint, or they're good for getting sympathy from your spouse, boyfriend, or girlfriend. Other than that, they do not work for ankle sprains, wrist sprains. They really don't work. They're not that effective. All right, and then in this pouch, I have Flonase. It is over the counter. Great for allergic rhinitis, congested noses. Fantastic little product. I also have some Imodium. Also, the expiration date on this, I'm going to have to, that's the other thing you need to check. The expiration date on this is 2019. Just to let you know, usually these meds are good for way more than a year over the expiration date. Those expiration dates are on there for obvious reasons with the government. So, but for the most part, you can definitely use the meds a year later for sure. With antibiotics, same way. Now, they may not be quite as effective about 3 or 4 years down the line. So Imodium AD, gloves, some eye patches, tongue blades, which can be used for various situations. Again, I encourage you to look at my eye treatment video. There are times you want to patch an eye, and there are times you do not want to patch an eye. All right, so let's jump all the way down here. This is just filled with Leukotape, some Medi-Rip, some gauze. That's all we have here. Now, for my healthcare providers out there that are watching this, I'm carrying basically 3 different antibiotics. I'm carrying doxycycline, and evidently if someone gets a tick, I'm gone for 5 or 6 days with them, or if I get a tick, I'm going to take, and it's a deer tick, I'm taking 2 tablets. That's excellent. It's also a very broad spectrum because gram-positive bacteria, gram-negative, just an all-around excellent antibiotic. Clindamycin, Cleocin. This is diclofenac. It's for pain and inflammation. Works fairly well. Can be very irritating to the stomach. Non-opioid. And I'm taking some Prevacid, and what I don't have here, which I should have here, is ciprofloxacin. Cipro is excellent for really anything below the waist. It's good for gram-negatives, urinary tract infections, prostate issues, good for traveler's diarrhea. Now, Cipro and doxycycline, both, you need to be bringing this sunscreen. Doxycycline and Cipro are very photosensitive. You are going to be 5 times more likely to burn if you're taking those antibiotics. So always carry some sunscreen. Those 2 antibiotics just going to increase your chance of burning. I have some Prevacid in here. And again, some of the things I don't have in here are in my smaller everyday pack. Benadryl, antihistamine, Zyrtec, things like that. Some betadine swabs to clean the area. It's also in this pack, and Band-Aids. Down here, we have gauze pads, some more Adaptic. And then in these 2 pouches down here, which you can't see, I have a few more blades, staple remover, and stapler for wounds to close. And I'm going to mention this again, in about 6 months, we will be having our own Survive Outdoors medical kits. They will be the same exact medical grade material that I carry. There will be no pharmaceutical medication, but the Adaptic gauze, Medi-Rip, stapler, things of that nature will be in your medical kit. And I guarantee you, with 100% certainty, price-wise, we're going to beat the competition. Guarantee it. Lots of gloves in the last compartment. Can never have too many gloves. You always want to be concerned about bloodborne pathogens. The other thing you want to carry is an insect repellent. And again, I'm the big advocate of picaridin. You can go watch our most viewed video. I think there's over 1,000 views already on mosquito and tick repellents, which one's best. This is by Sawyer. It has 20% picaridin. This does not harm your gear. It does not harm your backpack, does not harm your camera, does not harm any plastic, unscented. This is a great product, picaridin. Okay guys, so that is my base camp. That is not what I carry every day. And if I'm going on a long excursion, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm finding the youngest guy in there to carry it. Any questions, comments? If I left something out you think I should have, throw it in there. I've gotten some really good feedback from some paramedics, some wilderness medicine responders, some good stuff. Other than that, stay safe, keep your eyes on the horizon, your face to the wind. Till next time, guys, take care.